Hi, welcome back to the Run Like a T-Rex YouTube channel. Um, bit something different this week. So I'm not out filming. I'm not out running. I'm finally not out marathon training. So I'm basically going to talk a little bit about my running background, what running means to me, um, what it continues to do for me, both physically and mentally, and all those sorts of bits and pieces. Just give a bit of background. So I've been running for 2.5 years now, consistently. Sort of coincided with joining Masses. I needed that basically kick up the bum, something to try and hold me accountable, a bit of a supportive community. Um, and yeah, man alive, did they deliver? I mean, anybody who's joined a running club can kind of vouch for it's the people that make it. They're the absolute best thing about running. I'm naturally quite lazy, so I started because I felt a bit really unfit one Christmas, 2022. Made the mistake after, sort of between Christmas and New Year of standing on the SAD step, the bathroom scales, and seeing a number I really didn't like. It's sort of a bit of confirmation bias because I didn't feel good. I felt horrible in my clothes, hated having my picture taken, all those sorts of bits and pieces. Um, and then, yeah, while I was up there, my younger brother Josh was also home on leave from the army. And then I went out to the car to go and get a couple of bits and saw him coming back in from a run. I was like, I used to be able to do that. Um, and then, yeah, something just sort of resonated. Like, well, there's nothing stopping you. No point complaining about what you used to be able to do. Go and give it a go now. And that's what I did. So, um, yeah, I went and did a 5K run on New Year's Day. I wasn't going to do it before New Year's Day because why start running on the 28th of December? That'd be madness. Anybody that's ever dieted can kind of attribute, or what I'll wait till Monday. We'll start on a Monday. I'm not going to start on a Saturday. That'd be silly. So yeah, 5K done. Really struggled with it. Did it in about 38 minutes. Absolutely gasping. Ate for a few days afterwards. But thankfully, I'd messaged the Massey Ferguson Facebook page to try and find out when training was, see if I could come along for a trial. That's what I did. Pretty much joined on the spot then, and I've loved it. I haven't looked back since. The running community is incredible. The people are just amazing. They're some of the most supportive and friendly and endlessly positive people you could ever wish to meet. It's Yeah, so and that's part of the other benefit of one of the reasons why I joined Masses. Not being a Cov kid, I didn't grow up here. It's where my wife's from. Now my home's where my children were born. But I sort of felt like I didn't have much of a support network outside of my wife and her family. Wanted to make some friends and all that kind of stuff because you know what it's like. You need your own friends and all that kind of stuff because it's just good to um, just get out and meet other people in the local area and all that kind of stuff. Um, and that's exactly what I did. 2.5 years later, I haven't looked back. I'm still enjoying running with Masses. Still enjoy seeing everybody. Yeah, I spend most of my time speaking to them on various WhatsApp groups and all that kind of stuff. Whether it's taking a mick out of somebody for their caffeine addiction or anything like that. So anybody else that's in a group will kind of that'll resonate with them. So running wasn't always. I didn't always love running. So I joined the army when I was 18. I was very slim, very skinny, quite weak really. So I'm 5'11". When I joined the army, day one I arrived, I was 61 kilos, which is 9.5 stone for those of you that are still working in those units. So very slimmy, very slim and skinny. And kind of just assumed because I could play five-side football that I was fit, and then got a rude awakening when I realised how hard military training was. Because I passed the entrance fitness test, I just assumed I'd be all right. Yeah, I was a far cry off. So out of a troop of 30 guys, I was comfortably in the bottom 10% of those, bottom 2 or 3 fitness-wise. And kind of got to the point where I sort of learned to hate the physical training, PT, particularly the running, anything where I could get left behind and I'd be struggling to keep up with people. And then because of that, I'd basically get to the point where later on, once I've passed basic training and all that kind of stuff, I was then at my unit. You got a bit more free time in the evenings, you kind of times your own. I wouldn't go out and run to try and work on that because I'd be concerned with the following morning, we've got PT. What if it's a run and I've already got tired legs from the night before? I'm going to be even slower and further behind than I would normally be. And then PT would come and we'd be doing circuit training or something else. And he'd be like, oh, right, I could have gone for a run. And it's one of those vicious cycles that because I'm not working on it, I'm actually getting worse at it as well. So you're sort of falling further and further behind. So you start hating it more and more and more. So yeah, it's one of those. The other thing I've always struggled with is a bit of self-confidence. One of the reasons why I set up this YouTube channel, try and push myself out of my comfort zone, try and get a little bit more confident. So I try and put myself out as being as authentic as I can. I'm pretty much nice to everybody, bar myself. I know it resonates with a lot of people in terms of being your own worst critic. But I mean, I used to suffer with self-esteem, like being a teenager, even into. I still have moments now where I still don't go to my work functions because they just fill me with dread because I just think I'll be sat in a room and as soon as somebody's not talking to me, in my head, the entire room's looking at me going, look at him, nobody wants to talk to him. Probably not remotely true. It's just one of those nagging doubts that I have in my head that I've always struggled with. So people have kind of accused me of being sort of rude or a bit ignorant in the past. It's not that in the slightest. I've basically gone into rooms and not spoken to people because at my worst, I've literally thought I will ruin somebody's day by speaking to them. So if you throw that into something like a running context where everything's about speed and there's always a stopwatch, it can just fill you with even more anxiety. But also because of that, when you've not got much self-confidence in yourself, it's really difficult to push yourself on a run. Because in the back of your head, as soon as you start going slightly quicker, you've got the back of your head is going, you're not going to be able to keep up with that. Slow down. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not that fit. You're not going to be able to do that. Which a lot of the time when I come round to do, say, a fitness test, for instance, I'd end up literally plodding round and then sprinting the last 100 metres and then find out I'd failed the run. And I'm like, I wasn't as tired. I should have sprinted earlier. No, what you should have done is run. But it's all down to confidence. Bit of body awareness as well in terms of all those sorts of bits and pieces. It's the importance, the value of just running more. Not necessarily quickly, zone 2, but just get to learn the way, understand how your body moves. So yes, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I hated being the slow one at the back, getting shouted at. And when they'd stop to have a little water break for people to catch their breath and for the people at the back like me to catch up. And as soon as you get there, they set off again. So you don't get the break. So you're already one that's most tired and struggling to catch up. And then you're also the one getting the fewest rests. It's the armed forces way, unfortunately. It's just the way the world works. I'm not criticising by any stretch. There's a certain level of mental resilience the forces need to have. It didn't come naturally to me, to put it lightly. So basically learned to hate running, and then after leaving, tried to run a few different times, probably 3 or 4 times I've started, and I've gone out and done a 5k run, and then 2 days later I got out for another 5k run and all that kind of stuff. But I never really stuck at it because I was constantly trying to run too quickly, and then because I was running too quickly, I was then really struggling, so I was hating it. So then I didn't go out the front door. And once you've missed the first run, you then think, I'm not going to do the next one. I've missed the run. This one's going to be even harder. So you don't do it. This is why the biggest thing I preach to anybody, if you're struggling to get out for a run, if you're either an existing runner and you've had a bit of a break or you want to take up running, run slow enough to enjoy it. If you need to walk, walk. If you need to slow down, slow down. fitness will come just by getting out there, getting your, the zone 2 stuff that everybody preaches in terms of run slow to run quick is absolutely true, because of the way that your muscles work and, the way that your body takes on blood oxygen and all that kind of stuff. It's really important. But the key thing is find the fitness, that the type of exercise that you enjoy. If you hate running, don't run. Find something else. Like, running's wicked. You're going to meet some incredible people. You'll be surrounded by a really positive, friendly, supportive community. But if you genuinely really dislike running, you hate the build up to it, you hate the actual running, you don't particularly feel good afterwards, and then you dread the next one, running's probably not your exercise. Find something that is. It's why I do so I've done one episode so far of the Can't Run, Won't Run series. I'm going to film a couple of other of those over the summer, with people who don't run, but they've got exercise they do enjoy, and gives them all the same benefits without any of the mental side or the drawbacks or the anxiety that running would give them. I would love everybody to run, but if you don't enjoy it, then I'm not going to force anybody to, or say, oh no, you just need to stick at it. No, by all means try and stick at it, but if you're still, after a little while, still not enjoying it, it's clearly not for you. It's not the thing that you're going to enjoy. And fitness, you've got to enjoy it. There's no point punishing yourself. We're not, you listen to the David Goggins of the world and all these kind of people who spout utter nonsense. There is a place for that and mental resilience in certain bits, but 99.999% of people are not training for BUD/S or SEAL School or anything like that, completing an ultramarathon with a broken foot. Well done, you're a moron. You've risked your future mobility for what? To try and prove some kind of superiority or masculinity? I think you need to get that looked at, personally. But yeah, that's just my view on Goggins. There's a everything has its place, but for most people, take it with a pinch of salt. So that's kind of a bit of my background. So I think it's like a lot of people. I still run Crostonate. I still dread the feeling of it being hard and all those sorts of bits and pieces. But on the most part, I love running. I love the people that I've met. From the people I've met at masses to obviously set up the Run Like a T-Rex Instagram account, and the YouTube channel. And some of the people who follow me and engage with my content, they're just lovely. They're incredible people, and they what make it. Go down to, if you're ever unsure, go down to your local park run and see the support that you get from the marshals and the other people and the people that come and cheer you on and all that kind of stuff. It's wicked. I defy anybody to go to something like a park run and not come away feeling wicked. And it's just the people that make it. You think it's like however many park runs there are on any given weekend, thousands, and they're all run by volunteers. So out of those thousands, there's like a minimum of 20 people at those park runs who are also volunteering to try and run it, to be the timekeeper, be the race director, manage the finish funnel, so it's not utter carnage and people are trying to herd cats when all these runners come flying over the line, trying to beat the person they're trying to come across, trying to stop their watch so they can sign off a PB or whatever. So they're just incredible. So that's kind of my background. Go through a bit of my proudest moments. So there's been a few bits, really. That'll take some beating. Manchester Marathon. So the last video that I did, if you haven't gone and watched it, I'd love you to go and watch it. Really, really hot day. Really, really difficult. Trained really well for it. A few hiccups along the way, but it wouldn't be a marathon training block if there wasn't. Set on the first half and was an absolute metronome. Really proud of my achievement in the first half. Second half was a different story. To run over that finish line, get given the medal and think, I've completed that. I mean, the last 8 miles of that I genuinely hated. So despite me saying about Goggins and all that kind of stuff. That's where the resilience comes in. So I'm not saying you have to and you shouldn't be putting yourself through unreal suffering, but I was really proud of the fact I'd stuck with that. Despite being hot, I ended up getting heat stroke. I was really quite unwell. I mean, without getting too graphic, I basically went for a wee at mile 15 and didn't go to the toilet then until 8 o'clock the following morning. Despite drinking an entire bottle of water every 5 kilometres, I was in a bit of a bad way. So yeah, Manchester Marathon, completing that will take some beating. I won one of the handicaps with Massey's. That was wicked. Getting voted. My first year with Massey's, I got voted for by all the Massey members and got voted the most improved male runner. I was really pleased with that. That not only that, one, how much I had improved, but two, that other people had recognised it and gone, you know what, and firstly you had to get nominated to do it, and then people then vote for the shortlist. So that's another thing that I've always really enjoyed. But I think my first half marathon, Kenilworth half in 2023. Yeah, 2023. Learned a major lesson in fueling that day. Took one gel with me, which I didn't take till 7 miles, and then wondered why at 11 miles I wanted to chop my legs off. Anybody who's got fueling wrong in a race can kind of empathise. But I was really, really proud of that, and to see, it's the bit that you see when there's people cheering for me on my intros to these videos. That's Name the Kids cheering me on in the final 150 metres at Kenilworth Half in my first half marathon. I was in a world of pain. There's photos of me coming up Rounsell Lane, up the hill, which anybody that's done the Two Castles or Kenilworth Half can replicate. I look like I'm talking to my ancestors. I am in an absolute world of pain running up there because literally everything's cramping. But I was really pleased to have got that done. I've worked really hard, trained for like 12 weeks in the build up to it, done a proper training program, which I'd never done before. I was really proud of that. So yeah, first half marathon. I think anytime you do a new race that's a new distance to you, that's further than something you've done before, there's always a place for that. You should always be proud of yourself. It's one of the things I've always done, actually. So when I signed up for Kenilworth Half, I basically promised myself and made a deal that anytime I was running a new distance to myself, I wasn't going to aim for a time or like properly wed myself into completing a time, because just finishing it will give you a PB for that distance. The key thing is to try and enjoy the process. Something I got wrong in Manchester, because I'd got too hot and I got to the point where I was basically cooking. I wasn't in the headspace to talk myself down and go, do you know what? This atmosphere is incredible. Try and enjoy it. I couldn't talk myself down from that point. So if I had my time again, I'd be like, come on, you're not trying to break a world record. And quite frankly, no one's going to give a toss what your time is. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Slow yourself down. Stop putting pressure on yourself and crack on. So yeah, that was one of the lessons learned. But so that's that. And then aims for the future. So I want to keep enjoying running. It's a fairly basic one, but it's something I put at the start of my yearly running goals. I always want to try and make sure I'm still enjoying my running. Because if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? I do this for my mental health as much as my physical, and if I'm not enjoying it, then I'm not getting the mental health benefit. And all I'm doing is suffering for whatever, for no reason whatsoever. So, keep enjoying it. I've got the Northbrook 10K coming up in a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to doing that. First race post Manchester. New race to me as well. I've not done that before, despite the fact it's about 2 miles from my house. So looking forward to doing that. I know there's a few other people. Mom is going to be there. Ryan and Hayley from Rayleigh's, I think, are going to be there. So, and then I'm going to do a half marathon in the autumn. Don't know which one yet. I'm really tempted by Hampton Court Palace half marathon. Because one of the things I'd also like to do is I'd like to try and break 1 hour 50 for half marathon. So I think with a bit of time getting back into training now, that might be doable. So And then the other stuff is just working on maybe bring my 5K time down a little bit, see how close to 20 minutes I could get. And then, yeah, the other bit, I'd really like to do some more parkrun tourism, and maybe even take the wife and kids and see if they can start doing a few parkruns as well if they enjoy it. Grace has done a junior parkrun before and really enjoyed it. She's started football, so she's keen to. She asked me to go for a run the other day because she wants to do the children's mile, which all the local schools do. She also wants to try and get fitter for football and stuff. So who am I to say no? So yeah, that's kind of it. I want to try and keep creating some content like this that will hopefully resonate with people, that people will enjoy. And yeah, we'll see what the future holds. The key thing is I want to keep enjoying it. I want to keep meeting incredible people. I want to say fit and healthy for as long as I can to have the best quality of life I can later on down the line. So that's it. If you've got any questions or comments, if you've got any races coming up, or if you're going to be at Northbrook, drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you next time.